Well, welcome to this month's edition of Coffee with the Chief. Today it brings us to Westchester, Illinois, and we're sitting with, appropriately enough, during the last day of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, with Chief Mike Mavrogeorge. How you doing, brother?
Good.
Good. So let's start off talking about you. How did you get into the fire service, and what was your path to the seat you're sitting in right now?
Well, for me, like you did, I started out as a police officer. I was a police officer for about 2 years, and then ended up on a small volunteer fire department in New Baden, Illinois, where I grew up, and it just went from there. I liked the fire service. I had a little bit of a break, and then I moved to O'Fallon, Illinois, where I got back on the fire department, and then got hired full-time with an airport down in the St. Louis area, and spent most of my career down there. Became the fire chief of St. Louis Downtown Airport, where I was for 10 years. And then got here to the Chicago area. I was in Oak Lawn for 2 years, and now here I am in Westchester.
So now, was that something that you were looking to do to get up into the Chicagoland area, or it just happened to come across it?
It was always in the back of my mind. I like this area, and there's so much fire service tradition up here, and it was always in the back of my mind to try to get up here to Chicago or somewhere else around the country. At the time I came up to Chicago, I was actually interviewing nationally. So.
I remember. So now that you've been up here a little bit, did you transfer from the Cardinals to the White Sox? Because I know it's not a Cubs thing.
No. I'll always be a Cardinals fan. That's a St. Louis thing, Cardinals and Blues. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. But yes, the White Sox, I do watch the White Sox. They're an American League, so we consider that fair game, right?
Right.
American League. So yeah, but I won't watch the Cubs.
I'm with you. Unless they're playing the White Sox, which they just lost 3 out of 4, which is all good. So, so this month, I know your dad was like one of your biggest influences. You know, from talking with you before. What does like this month in the heritage and everything mean for you?
You know, yeah, my mom is Japanese. Born and raised, she was born during World War II in Japan. Her father actually served in the Japanese military during World War II. My father was in the United States Air Force, and my parents met in Japan.
Okay.
And I was born there, and then we came back to the United States for a little bit, and then we're right back overseas, where my brother was born in Turkey. So eventually we got back to the States. My dad served 26 years active duty, retired as a Chief Master Sergeant, and then served another 25 years as a Department of Defense civilian. Through that whole time, my mom was the stabilizing force. Whenever my father was gone, whenever my father was traveling, my mom was there. And she is your typical strong Japanese mom. She doesn't take excuses. She never did. There was no such thing as a dog eating our homework. That never happened. So she was wonderful. Great role model for me and my brother. Same thing with our father.
Yeah.
So we were just very blessed to have great parents.
Yeah, absolutely. It's to have that foundation to push from.
Absolutely.
You know, and a standard set for you that you hold yourself to. It's a huge advantage.
Yes, and my mom always set high standards for us.
No, good. You're living up to it. And how about other family? Other family you have?
I've got a brother. I've got an older brother that lives out in California, out in Fresno, California. That's pretty much it now.
Okay.
You know, my grandparents have been passed many years ago. So it was just, and especially with military families, it was always just us. You know, as we bounced around the globe, it was just us. And any military brat it feels that, because it's always just that immediate close family as you're moving around.
Right. And I know Levon's home unpacking at the moment.
Yes, we just moved to a new home in Riverside, Illinois, and My spouse LaVon and our little guy Levi. Yep, they're taking care of boxes. So we'll be doing box sports for a long time. There'll be many Nerf wars going on in that living room.
Right, lots of places to hide. Perfect. So tell us about Westchester, about the city itself, demographics, like what's here.
Westchester is a great suburban community here on the west side of Chicago. Population 16,982. Working class families here. Nice area, pretty diverse. We run about 60% white, 15-17% black, and the rest of Hispanic. So we have a good mix of everybody. It's kind of a melting pot, which is really nice, and it's just a great town. The village board here, the administration, very supportive of the fire service and public safety in general. It's a great place to be, especially if you're a firefighter. Westchester is one of those places where it's you want to be here.
And how about call volume and types of calls?
Call volume, about 3,600 calls a year out of 2 stations. You name it, full mix of calls. We'll have trauma, shootings, stabbings, fires. Division 20 is one of the busiest MABUS divisions in the state. So lots of mutual aid, and then lots of medical. About 70% of our call volume is EMS.
So you run fire-based EMS?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 70% of our call volume is EMS. We run 1 paramedic ambulance 24 hours a day.
And does that work out of this station or the other one?
Yes. The ambulance operates out of this station. The engine is in the 2nd station. Our future plan is to add another ambulance and staffing to place in that station.
Okay. So at each station, what do you have equipment-wise?
So in this station, which is station 25, we run a heavy rescue squad, 100-foot aerial ladder, and the paramedic ambulance. In station 26, we run an engine, and then we have a backup engine in that station.
Okay. And manpower, what's your daily shifts look like?
So staffing is 28 total personnel on the department. We have minimum staffing daily of 6. Depends on time of year, but each shift right now is assigned 9 personnel at full. So, and we're allowed to have 3 people off daily.
Okay. And you've got a union department?
Yes. The firefighters are represented by IAFF Local 4851. We have a great relationship here in Westchester, which is, I can tell you that it's a blessing as a fire chief when you have a good working relationship with your union.
Yeah, it's good for both sides.
Absolutely,
right?
Because
it's not mutually beneficial to fight and argue all the time.
Well, that's just nonsense. There's no need for that, especially in today's fire service, where if you don't, you have to work together to accomplish the mission. There's so many things, if you work with your union, you can get done in any municipality. So, but we have a great relationship here.
Nice. Yeah, you got to work hard to keep that up.
Absolutely.
Mentors-wise, who is your mentor coming up through the fire service? Or I'm sure there's multiple people.
My biggest mentor was my father, obviously being a career military professional. There's so many. I was blessed. I became a fire chief young. I was 37 years old when I became fire chief at St. Louis Downtown Airport. So I was, you talk about being thrown to the wolves. I got involved with the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association young. Chief Joe Hollamy, when he was down at Effingham.
Hey, Joe.
Got me, Joe, got me onto the board. And I stayed on the executive board of the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association for almost 9 years. I met amazing fire chiefs while I was there that mentored me, and were able to yank back on the choke leash and then tell me, yeah, you just need to calm down, okay?
But it comes with youth.
Yes,
you know?
and you know, it's amazing because it just feels like a lifetime ago. But yeah, Chiefs like, you know, Chiefs Tim Sashko, Bob Hughes, those guys were great to me. Gary Ludwig, fire chief down in Champaign, I've known him for many years. You know, the things that I've done with the International Association of Fire Chiefs, being on the Great Lakes Division and being just honored and humbled to serve as the president of the Great Lakes Division for 2 years. The people you meet, they're just amazing mentors to be able to just pick up the phone. And, you know, it's one thing in the fire service, you're not alone. I mean, as a fire chief, as an officer, as a firefighter, you're not alone. It's one big fire service. There's always somebody that can give you better ideas.
Yeah, you just got to be open to it.
Absolutely.
Right? And tap into those people, because for the most part, people are willing to help you. And
yes, and accept that you are not the smartest person in the room. You just have to accept that. You're not the smartest person in the room. There are brilliant people out there, and it's the same thing even in your own fire department. Okay. Empowering your people, encouraging your people to come up with the ideas to solve the problems. As a fire chief, that's not my job.
Right.
It can be, but it doesn't need to be.
It shouldn't be. Right?
It shouldn't be, because if you're going to be a leader, let your people run. And they will come up with ideas that will surprise you every day. And it's just an amazing feeling when you can see that take off.
Yeah, and it's the turnover, you know, younger people coming in. You've done with it what you could, so you want them to bring their twist on things, right? And everything will stay the same if you're not allowing people to come in and do things different.
The worst thing that can happen in any fire department or in the fire service in general is stagnation. Anytime something becomes stagnant, I mean, it takes that much more effort to kickstart that progress again. But if you can set that in motion early, that you've got progress and that you support progress and new ideas,
then I can get out of the way.
It just takes off. Yeah, exactly. Let your people run and get out of the way.
Right. Challenges with your department. What do you see coming up in the future that is your biggest challenges?
With every fire department, you know, finances is always a challenge, because you know, just the state of affairs statewide, even nationally in the fire service. You know, staffing. We need more staffing. Every fire department needs more staffing. You talk to any fire chief, you know, I promise you, they'll never turn down staffing.
Right.
The other thing too, is getting harder to recruit firefighters, and we're seeing that nationwide. All of us, this is the best job in the world. You know, it's a great mission. You have that feeling of accomplishment.
Rewarding, for sure.
It's rewarding. You know, the pay is good, the benefits are good, and for some reason nationwide right now, we cannot get enough applicants to fill the available vacancies.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's put their finger on it yet. You know, if it's some combination of COVID and who knows what, but it's definitely across the nation, same thing. And speaking of COVID, how'd you guys get through that to this point? Because it's not over, but
no. You know, we made it through. The captain, who was the interim chief before I arrived, did a really good job putting the COVID policy in place here. It mirrored other COVID policies, so it was good, and things were very stable when I got here. You know, we had, you know, a firefighter here and there get COVID, and we took care of them. They were out, but we had nobody.
No
everybody was back. Everybody returned to duty. But COVID is still there, and you know, we still have those policies in place, and they will remain in place.
And it's hard because you get complacent, right? Because everything's gone well, and kind of there's these dips and ebb and flow of transmissions.
The other thing that's interesting is there are a lot worse things out there EMS-wise that we're afraid of than COVID. So why wouldn't we be wearing N95s on calls? You would think that would now be standard practice. Everything we just went through with COVID, you know, our PPE for EMS calls should pretty much remain the same.
Right.
And that's where we're going to stay for a little while.
And hopefully they keep the monkeypox in check.
Oh, well. That's all we need. Monkeypox.
So your vision for the future here at Westchester, is there big things that you see on the horizon that you want to accomplish, or smaller things?
Yes. You know, since I arrived, we've been in a modernization mode. We've been replacing obsolete, outdated equipment. Apparatus is high on that list right now. We've got a ladder truck and an engine that we need to replace, you know, within the next 5 years. The ladder is priority; it needs to be replaced within the next 2. We're also looking at land for a brand new consolidated fire station that would be right in the center of our ISO circle.
Okay.
And then we would allow us to go ahead and close down one station, but put everybody into one station.
And your mutual aid in the area, do you guys work together a lot?
Absolutely. Up here, mutual aid is seamless. Division 20, great division. Great chiefs in this division, great firefighters in this division, and everyone works together. It's not a competition. It's not a turf war. You know, whoever gets there first does the job. It doesn't matter. It's all about serving the citizens that we protect.
It's best case scenario, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, is there anything else you would like everybody out there in TV land to know about you or to know about Westchester before we check out?
Just, you know, this is a great community. I enjoy serving as a fire chief here. I've had a great career. I'm kind of getting to the tail end now, but I enjoy it, and I still have that passion. And this guy right here, I'm going to miss this guy a lot. I'm going to miss this guy a lot.
We'll miss you too, man.
He's been a friend to me for many years, and been the best state fire marshal we've ever had. So,
well, thank you. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. And if anybody out there wants to get your department and your chief on Coffee with the Chief, let us know. Get a hold of JC. He'll flash contact information up on the screen. And everybody stay safe out there. Bye.